Oh, hello, good evening, welcome. This is Ghana Tonight. We're live from Sabata, Desawe Kanda, also live on TV3 Ghana on Facebook, DSTV channel 279. We're all across the world on 3news.com. I am Alfred Ocansey. Tonight, Ghana Private Road Transport Union up in arms against the government over the imposition of the 1 Ghana cedi levy on every litre of fuel purchased. Members have threatened a sit-down strike by June 10. That's next week, Tuesday. But what exactly is going to be happening between then and now? Okay, now we're getting to it. Stay with us. Also, armed illegal miners in the Ashanti region clashed with government officials earlier today, demanding the release of their colleagues. We're live on the ground with the latest updates. Stay with us here on Ghana Tonight. And the Health Minister, Kwabena Takando, is urging striking nurses and midwives to return to work and prioritize patient care as the government works to resolve their concerns. Will they listen? That's the fundamental question we'll be seeking an answer to from the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association tonight. As always, you're an integral part of the conversation. Let's hear from you. The hashtag we're using is Ghana Tonight on Facebook and on X. Let's get talking. Let's settle for Ghana Breaks now.
President John Dramani Mahama says his administration would give more power to district education directors in the management of schools. During a sector engagement with the committee, the president stated that he believes this will help reduce teacher absenteeism and stop the payment of salaries to underdeserving teachers.
Decentralization would not only improve service delivery, but also restore a sense of ownership and agency at the grassroots level. It is my favorite one. I mean, Ghana Education Service, you sit in Accra here, and you think you can manage that school in Horiyiri in Bole Bamboy district. I mean, it doesn't make sense. We must give greater authority to the district directors and make them autonomous to be able to manage the schools. That's when we'll be able to know which teacher has not come to school.
Minority leader Alexander Penyumakin is demanding an urgent explanation from the Finance Minister, Dr. Atto-Forson, over persistent delays in payments to the private sector and the release of funds to ministries. According to him, the situation is threatening the execution of key government programs and the efficient running of ministries. Alexander Penyumakin said the Finance Minister must appear before Parliament to explain the cause of the delays, as the current situation is undermining confidence in the economy.
The Ministry of Finance has come to this house, presented the budget statements, this house approving appropriation. Then 3 months down the line, no payments are being made. Releases to ministries are delayed. We don't know what the problem is.
Health Minister Kwabena Takando is pleading with members of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association to put patients first and return to work as efforts are made to find an amicable resolution to their concerns. The minister says a strike is not the way to go. He was touring the 3 major health facilities in the Greater Accra region to assess the impact of the ongoing strike by the nurses and midwives.
Our doors are open and to continue to be opened. And in fact, to tell you, since I came to the office, they themselves, they know the effort I have put in place to resolve other complicated issues with them. This is not the first since I came to the office. So I am committed and ever ready to think through that, even if it has to be unofficial, and I go beyond even my official duties to assist the leadership to maintain and to make sure that there's no tension at their front. This is what I'm committed in doing.
The administrator of the Mineral Development Fund, Dr. Hannah Bisiu, journalists and some police officers were held hostage at Akonfre, a galamsey-prone area in the Chimamponya district of the Ashanti region. The gun-wielding thugs demanded the release of 7 Chinese illegal mining suspects or face a showdown.
To my biggest disappointment as a woman, as a Ghanaian, as a leader, will be to see these ones set free, and somebody will now be demanding that President John Dramani Mahama should give money to restore water bodies, to provide potable water.
We are in support of what you are doing. We do not expect the foreigners to benefit from this, so we are pleading with the government to help us.
The Bank of Ghana is introducing new measures aimed at tackling rising non-performing loans in the banking sector, including a plan to name willful defaulters in banks' audited financial statements. Speaking at a post-MPC engagement, Governor Dr. Johnson Isiama said the move is part of efforts to promote transparency, restore credit discipline, and ensure responsible lending.
We will soon issue a comprehensive directive to tackle persistently high non-performing loans across regulated financial institutions. We will consult with leadership of your association before the guidelines are issued. The measures will strengthen credit risk governance and require proof of effectiveness. The measures will enhance NPL reporting and disclosure with monthly submissions and public transparency.
Well, it's more news on 3news.com. Make some time and visit 3news.com. This is Ghana Tonight. We're live on 3 FM 92.7. And as always, probably brought to you by Flamingo Paint, Simply Superior, and also Sasso Insecticide Spray and Coil Kumtumtum Preco. Coming up next here on Ghana Tonight, armed illegal miners in the Ashanti region clashed with government officials earlier today, demanding the release of their colleagues. I said these are Chinese who were caught involved in illegal mining. In fact, they held the administrator of the Minerals Development Fund, Dr. Hannah Bisiu, journalists, and some police officers were held hostage earlier today at Akonfre, a galamsey-prone area in the Chimamponya district of the Ashanti region. Now, these three, and the woman you see there is Dr. Hannah Bisiu, livid. Now, the gun-wielding thugs demanded the release of 7 Chinese illegal miners. On this showdown that we saw, we're going to show that to you shortly. William Evansinkum, my colleague, was part of the team of journalists who accompanied Dr. Hannah Bisiu and the police to arrest these persons, and they were held hostage by these gun-wielding thugs. Said they would not allow them to leave until they release the Chinese, but that did not happen. Take a look.
A once vast arable land, now dissipated. Akonfre, a major producer of cocoa, now a pale shadow of itself due to illegal mining. With pockets of roofing sheets, the suspects are fenced to conceal their identity. Their local collaborators are always ready to shield them. We were told informants are victimized, sometimes assassinated. We cannot independently verify this claim. Danny Boy, an illegal miner, accused foreigners of degrading their land.
We are in support of what you are doing. We do not expect the foreigners to benefit from this, so we are pleading with the government to help us.
After several search, 7 Chinese were rounded up. They were accosted to the degraded site just to show them how they have ripped apart an entire forest.
To my biggest disappointment as a woman, as a Ghanaian, as a leader, will be to see these ones set free, and somebody will now be demanding that President John Dramani Mahama should give money to restore water bodies, to provide potable water. And you know, John Mahama.
My name is Lotte.
Your name is Lotte. Lotte, are you happy with what you're saying?
No.
You're not happy with what you're saying. So, if you're not happy with what you're saying, why will you continue to degrade the land?
Okay, I've walked barefoot before.
English.
All over, yes.
No English.
And I'm not ashamed.
All right, so interesting. You ask their name in English and they tell you, but you ask that simple question, are you happy with what you're saying? They said they do not understand English. The operation almost turned south when gun-wielding thugs held the task force, including the administrator of the MDF hostage. They started shooting. They want the Chinese suspect released, but the MDF task force was resolute. The thugs then led the team to the Nyinani District Police Command. Here, tension heightened. Eventually, the suspects were brought to the regional police headquarters for further interrogation.
A comprehensive detail of what happened during this operation led by Dr. Hannah Besio and the Ghana Police Service, accompanied by some journalists. William Evans Zinkume, you saw him there. And let's bring in engineer Dr. Kenashigbe. He's joining us on Zoom right now. He's also been following these happenings every step of the way today. A troubling development, as you see. Dr. Kenashigbe is the convener of the Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey, joining us right now. Engineer Dr. Kenashigbe, good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening, Alfred.
Now, you've seen this video, what we just saw there, and this gun-wielding thugs coming in to prevent the police from arresting 7 Chinese nationals who are involved in illegal mining because they say they're protecting them. And then also, you had them there as well, and the police raising concern why this operation was done without their consent. I want to find out from you how all of this, what we have just seen, strikes you.
Well, thank you very much, Alfred, and good evening to our listeners and our viewers. And the interesting thing is that, well, I am not surprised in as much as I see this with a lot of indignation. I'm not surprised. The reason why we kept on asking His Excellency to declare a state of emergency was because the nature of the fight against galamsey, apart from the ecological, the health, the economic challenges, have become a national security concern. This issue of mercenaries, foreigners who are within our country providing protection, and you see the weapons they are wielding. It's something we have known and we've been complaining about. And we've been asking that government responds to this challenge with the commensurate or more force. It's the reason why when the EPA CEO talks about the fact that she needs a chopper, she needs some ammunition and guns, you want to support that. Because how is it that we are sitting in Ghana, lawful authority, of state, with police properly clothed, and then you have these thugs who would want to prevent kidnap, an officer of state with police people, and this is what it is that we've been talking about. The sad thing is that you have a police officer who is complicit in all of this. And the question some of us would want to ask is that, has this police commander been transferred? Has he just come into this particular place? And so we will be asking the IGP to deal with this police commander. It is not just the police, whatever their administrative things, but this is a criminal activity. For him to have mobilized these people to prevent these Chinese criminals from being taken to the regional office is really, really very, a serious issue. And it just tells us that, as a, we don't seem to be taking these things seriously. And this is coming back on, of the fact that we have seen. And I think it is one of the things that for all of us who are watchers in the space, we need to commend the current Minister for Lands and Natural Resources and his colleagues, and especially this new IGP with the renewed effort. And you see the interministerial approach that is being done. The EPA is going about it. Now you have MIF also going in there and doing this. But then you have this issues of allowing these armed guards, to be on the loose. And so, thank God for the videos that have been taken. TV3, very credible source. There, we can pick all of these people who are wielding the guns, and we should be prosecuting them. And we should be able to use intelligence to find out who are their backers, who are the people who are paying them all of this money. And these Chinese people, that is their stock in trade. When you have issues with them, when it gets to that point, they'll tell you that they are not able to speak the language. But they come and they are able to look at the damage that they have done. How are they going to fix this? So I believe that, as the administrator said, we should be confiscating all the assets of these people who are involved in it, the Chinese and the Ghanaian collaborators. We should be throwing Act 995 at them, making sure that we give them the maximum fines so that we can use that to do reclamation. We need to sentence them to the maximum sentence. And then in the process, we need to make sure that they don't spend their time just in jail, but we bring them into these particular places and come and work in the reclamation pits, making sure that they reclaim the land. But as for this policeman, we need to make sure that the maximum sanction is exacted against them. And I am pleading with the National Security Advisor, with the National Security Coordinator, that the time is right for His Excellency the President to declare state of emergency in particular places where we have all of these armed attacks and all of that. And I am sure that our intelligence community are more than capable to be able to tell where this is. And we hit these people so hard that no more Chinese are going to come. Alfred, as we speak, there are I hear that about 2,000 excavators that are on the high seas coming to Ghana. Already there are about 1,200 within 2 weeks that have been found at the ports. We are making Ghana ready. The signals we are sending out to all of these people is that you have a minister who is coming, who is trying to close the door. So come in quickly and come and rape the land as much as you can do. And so this is the time that immediately His Excellency plans that says that before you ship any excavator, make sure that you have gotten it registered. Let's make sure that all these 1,002 excavators that are there, the Minerals Commission tracks all of them. And we need to make sure that there's over 7,000 excavators. And Alfred, you know that we have more excavators in Ghana than the rest of Africa. And it's only Africa that has gold. But because we are permitting them. So if we can deal with these excavators, all the 7,000, give a moratorium within 2 weeks, 1 month, all these excavators should be tracked. Any excavator that is seen after that period that is not tracked, then you have sinned against the Minerals and Mining Act. Those excavators confiscated, take their owners to court, and then there should be some forfeiture that would going to happen. Ghana should start exporting excavators. All of these confiscated excavators, we should export them out of this country. But we need to make sure that we are punishing them. And I would urge also His Excellency the President, there are 300 excavators that have been confiscated. We should publish the names of all the people who imported them into this country, publish those they sold them to, publish them, those who they hired them to. And we need to make sure that we punish these people and do the forfeiture to the state.
Excavators, in fact, this is one that is attributed to the Transport Minister, Joseph Bukari Nikpe, disclosing that approximately 1,200 excavators are currently stranded. Those were his words, stranded at the Tema port, awaiting clearance. So 1,200 at the port, excavators, as we speak, awaiting clearance. And then the minister in charge of government communication, Felix Kwatio-Fosu, also then comes to tell us that within the last 2 weeks, they've caused 1,250 excavators imported in the country to be impounded at the Tema port, pending verifiable proof by importers of their use other than galamsey. Now, tie this into what's happening in the area we just saw. Does it concern you that these people, who are the gun-wielding thugs, are people within the area? They did this in broad daylight. The security agencies are there in the area. None of them have been arrested. The traditional authorities in the area also know these people to the extent that they had the confidence to come out with guns to prevent these Chinese from being arrested. What does all of that tell you?
Well, Alfred, so it is that Ghana is open, come and rape me. That's the signal. That's why you can get within 2 weeks, as the Minister for Transport and also the Minister for Government Communication have confirmed for you, 1,200. And we have about 2,000 on the high seas still coming in. There is gold here. Everybody should come and take it. So, Alfred, we need this police officer who is in this community where galamsey takes place. The Honorable Hanabisu is not in that area. He's able to go and find it. But this police commander in this place is not able to arrest these people. He's either incompetent or complicit. His part. But I think the most probable one is that he's part of the galamsey thing that is going on. And so he should be dealt with. The landowners that have given their land for this thing to be happening, because trust me, these people do not have any permit to do the things that they are doing there. So we need to make sure that the landowners themselves, they forfeit any claim to land in that particular place. The chiefs that are there, the MPs that are there, they should all bow their heads in shame anywhere that this is happening. So for me, I think one of the things we should be saying now is that any landowner who allows his land also to be used for these illegalities and the destruction of our land, those people should forfeit their land to the state so that we make sure that, this particular activity becomes a very expensive one. We have put the life of journalists, of the administrator, these police officers. We could have had a different story altogether. And Alfred, you cannot be able to be sure that these people are from these communities. They are importing mercenaries from outside our country. And look at the weapons that they were carrying. And so some activity would have to take place. We need to send a crack elite, intelligence-led military people into these communities. Let's make sure we can round up all of these people, make sure that everybody who is connected to this are punished as much as possible. But another thing that we need to do, Alfred, in all of this, we need to commend the courage of the administrator. This is a woman. In the face of people armed to the teeth, she actually stood her ground, and that has to be commended. And we need to make sure that her effort does not go in vain. These 6 Chinese people should not find themselves out. To the extent that, Alfred, as they went on the operation, they found a fuel station in the middle of this area in the forest, who's been dispensing and giving fuel to these weapons of mass destruction to continue to destroy our land. So for that as well, we need to investigate, find out all the tankers that are coming, and definitely with all the CCTVs that we have, we will be able to track which excavators these are, and we should track them back to the OMCs that sold the fuel to them, who the truck owners are, who the drivers are, and the owners of this particular fuel station. We need to make sure that all of them are arrested. They need to account, and then they need to be dealt with. And immediately, we should be able to send bulldozers there to go and break this down. But the question that also should be asked is that the MPA, did they license for this fuel station to have taken place? If they did not license, that is also a crime. Did the EPA go there to go and see it? Do they have an EPA permit? All the necessary permits, the assembly that are there, did they also do it? The new DCE in the community, how is that DCE also sitting? I am sure that we are told that the president was going to give a KPI to the DCs, This particular DCE is failing. Even before he started, this is a failure, complete failure. It should have been the DCE or MCE that should have gone to find these people and arrested them, not Hanabisu from Accra who would come and go and get these people arrested. So it is important that we tackle this thing with the anger that it requires to make sure that we are punishing these people so that we can set examples with them. And this is really, really very critical. Otherwise, all the efforts that His Excellency is putting in, the current Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, the EPA, the Minerals Commission Board, all their efforts will be coming in vain if you allow elements like this to continue doing the things that they are doing.
And I do appreciate the commitment and passion with which you speak to this matter. And in fact, you're not alone in this. A number of people also called in the military now. And in 30 seconds, that call that you make, that the military's presence in the forest should be restored, because we saw the police accompanying Dr. Hanabisu. But what difference would the military make in this particular fight? Quick one.
You know what I mean? You see, Alfred, the military are trained for things like this. This was an act of war. The police people, they are the customer service, customer-facing people. You know, my friend, the military people, they would not have tolerated this. They would have dealt with this with, more power. And so that is the reason why we believe that we need to station permanently military posts in these particular areas. And another thing that is important to do is that the Forestry Commission, their people should be trained and armed like military people, like the forest rangers in other countries, giving superior firepower so that you will not have the effrontery to confront our police people like these people have done today. And you see, as a country, if you allow this thing to fester, you just encourage more people to do it. Let's remember Boko Haram. Let's remember Mali. Let's remember what happened in Liberia and Sierra Leone. So for His Excellency, your own presidency is at stake. Don't allow these people to get away with this, including the police commander in this particular area.
Engineer Dr. Ken Ashigbe, appreciate your time on this. Thank you so much for joining us. Engineer Dr. Ken Ashigbe is the convener of the Ghana Coalition Against Illegal Mining there. And it's indeed the case. This is one that we've been talking to you about over the last at least 8 to 10 hours when my colleague William Evansinkum moved with the team, the Minerals Development Fund Administrator, Dr. Hanabisu, and some security personnel, and also journalists. They were held hostage by armed thugs in this particular area. They also discovered an illegal fuel station in the Jimira Forest Reserve in the Ashanti region. And there's a fuel station that dispensing fuel for these illegal miners and what they're doing. The town, and majority of them came up in arms against the team because they had arrested 7 Chinese nationals. They will not allow the security agencies to take them away to the district police command. We're keeping an eye on how things are playing out in this particular issue. Stay with us here on TV3. But coming up next here on Ghana Tonight, the health minister, Kwabena Kando, is urging striking nurses and midwives to return to work and prioritize patient care as the government works to resolve their concerns. Would have an official with the Registered Nurse Midwives Association joining us also, and a labor expert will be joining us to have a conversation on this matter. But the health minister, Kwabena Kando, wants the nurses and midwives who are currently on strike to reconsider their decision. He believes their concerns can be addressed without necessarily embarking on the strike which is ongoing. Now, he wants the nurses and midwives to come back to work and sit around the table and talk. Take a look.
To continue to be opened. And in fact, to tell you, since I came to the office, they themselves, they know the effort I have put in place to resolve other complicated issues with them. This is not the first since I came to the office. So I am committed and ever ready to think through that, even if it has to be unofficial, and I go beyond even my official duties to assist the leadership to maintain and to make sure that there's no tension at their front. This is what I'm committed in doing. Nurses should listen to the plea of the ordinary Ghanaians and listen to the plea of all of us to come back to work to save lives. Whatever it is, we can assure them that when we sit around the table, we'll find solutions to those challenges.
As Kwabena Mintaka, Health Minister there, my colleague Godwin Asediba visited some health facilities in the Greater Accra region to assess the impact of this strike by the Ghana Registered Nurse and Midwives Association and some persons who had come to these health facilities to get some health care left stranded as a result. Take a look.
And I'm information say every question. Say
no, now bedding.
Maybe continental.
Okay. But I didn't know you. It's a my runs are the same for unfortunately, everyone is saying so be oh, mouse also. And let's just say how how many months pregnant? We'll find out, man. Oh, you see, I didn't know, babe. We'll go feed. That's how we are. But who are one of the nurses one and cashier and show?
What actually said we call OPD. OPD before so I'm also good age. So I was saying for free.
Now we have no anything. But most of them have been on back. The only source you gave me is we call OPD. We check. He said doctor show. Doctors from the world. So
quite a troubling situation there. You can understand what they're going through right now. Let's go to the Ashanti region as well. The situation was no different. People gone to some health facilities in the region, left stranded. Take a look.
You almost say on strike. Normally, nurses are on strike, so I'm on general. So I have to take her to another facility to see whether they can take it or not. So I don't know what will happen next. It's very painful, but as you can see, she's on oxygen now. So what should I do? I don't know what to do.
Since morning, I have saying, "Yaba, you know, be a man and sharing. Yet it's yes, and yet that son. Until I bind one baby, no one your mom, no more sharing. Yes, straw more, yes, rabine.
Yes, rabine somewhere. If it's on a pay, but says so crock a now. About 10 o'clock 11. It has yes, a nurse need be a my sober shay. Yes, Rama, I buy boy, na black.
So that's the situation in the Ashanti region, not any different. We monitor the situation in the northern region. In fact, across all the 16 regions of the country, it's not looking good. Austin Game is a labor expert with international repute. He's joining us on Zoom right now. And then also would have Philemon Japon, the national PRO of the Ghana Registered Nurse and Midwives Association. They're the ones who are on strike. Mr. Game, I'll start off with you. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Hello, Mr. Austin Game, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly. Please put your video on for us because we lost your video. If you can put it on for us. So
I actually tried to put it on. It's not coming on.
Oh, okay. Well, let's get the conversation going then. You've heard the health minister make the appeal to the striking Ghana Registered Nurse and Midwives Association members because the strike is already biting and taking a toll on the general public. But the registered nurses say, you know, they're resolute because there's a condition of service that has been signed as far back as 2024 and they want it implemented. That's all their demand. And they're not going to back down and heed to that call for them to call off the strike. What should be the approach to get at least some truths on behalf and to benefit the public?
Thank you. Well, let me be very clear here. The past 8 years before the new administration now, I have closely been working with the nurses, and they can attest to the fact that we've all worked collaboratively and prevented strikes. Indeed, there was really no strike per se, even though we had a lot of questions to be answered by the previous administration, including the very agreement they are talking about now, which was signed by the previous administration. But government, as an employer, is a continuum, and therefore it has to be implemented. But I think we are barely 5 months plus into this administration now, so I think that is rather too early. I was not invited by them to the meeting where they took the decision to embark upon the strike action. But I appreciate the difficulties they might find themselves in. I can only appeal to them, especially because of the extensive effort being made by the employer. I think the Labour Minister and some of the officials from Labour Commission who are in Geneva even held meeting with them in Geneva. They found no proper solution. Here in Ghana, I think my friends were invited to the Labour Commission. They failed to turn up. They went to court today, and there is slapped on them an interlocutory injunction that they should call off the strike, waiting for the next 10 days for them to appear properly before the court to enable them to resolve the matter there, because perhaps that may be the last straw that will break the camel's back on the part of both parties. Generally speaking, industrial relations is not played out even in the media per se. Generally speaking, again, it's not supposed to be in the law courts. That is why in the Labour Act, a provision has been made for them to go to the Labour Commission to enable them resolve their differences. Now, let me say that it is true. An agreement has been reached between the parties, and implementation is the challenge. It's not a new thing. That's why, for instance, if I were to be with them, I would have guided them. Today, I held a negotiation meeting somewhere with a very prestigious private organization, very, very big organization in Ghana here. They reached an agreement, and yet the employer had difficulties in putting that through their budget. They reviewed it. The parties, by the law and the practice, the parties that reach any agreement on any subject matter is the only party that can meet to vary that agreement they have reached. Therefore, it cannot be done unilaterally by the employer, or will the union take a position that could result in a kind of strike, especially in an essential service like that of the health sector. I'm not blaming my friends, the nurses. I am only saying that in industrial relations, there will always be a provision for solution to be made. And therefore, I will urge them to go to table, regardless of the fact that an agreement which I myself was present when it was reached, yet there is always a room for them to vary anything both parties desire to vary. So it's not going to be just a one-sided type of thing. I'm urging them, they should go back to work, and then they can appear either before a Labour Commission or the ministry itself to enable them resolve it. If they need our help, we are available.
You indicated that such a labor situation should not be resolved even in the media or in the law court. Unfortunately, well, there's a development because the National Labour Commission has successfully secured a high court injunction which is meant to compel these striking nurses and midwives to immediately end their nationwide strike and return to work. So, Game, we have seen this too many times in this country, where a union declares strike, Labour Commission, you can almost predict that they will go to court, get an injunction, but then the union on strike continues to be on strike regardless of this this particular injunction that is most of the time secured. Is this the most potent approach to take to get them back to work?
They know very well. I've held several sessions with them in the past 8 years. They invited me. I was with them in Nkoko to go through the labor law with them. So they are very familiar with it. They are no strangers. I have a lot of respect for them. I want to urge them on to go back because we all talk about rule of law. We all talk about respecting the laws as we have it. Indeed, they are very vociferous about that as well. I am not saying that they don't have a genuine concern, just like the minister himself said, but this is not the approach. That is why for the past 8 years, I have been with them. We went through very serious matters with the previous government, but I've always prevailed on them that strike should not be the order of the day. That's why we didn't go. I was not invited to this meeting. Maybe they think I'll prevail on them. That's why they didn't invite me. But I have a lot of respect for them, and I want to urge them on, go back, especially so when the Labour Commission, which is the most authoritative body with authority vested in them to make pronouncements on these issues, and they've done it in their favor several times as well. I want to plead with them, especially so when the court also has given an order, I do not expect them to break that aspect of it. They will have to go back. I'm happy Philemon is on the line and he will attest to that.
I see. Well, Mr. Gama, appreciate your time on this. Well, I thank you. And maybe very quickly, in 30 seconds before we go, the health minister is making that appeal that they should call off the strike, come back, sit around the table and talk. Their position is that there's nothing really to talk about because the collective agreement has already been signed. What could be the possible appeal to them to then consider the minister's position now to come around and talk as against what they have decided to do?
It is true, the agreement has been signed, but we have a rule. We have a rule that governs the procedure of making an agreement. And the law also made provision that in Article, I think Section 161 and Section 160, in the unlikely event of an employer having challenges in implementing a portion of the agreement, the result is not to go out into the press and make a pronouncement that you are taking strike action. You are to go to the employer, request for a meeting, an SNC meeting, because the agreement was signed by a standing negotiating committee meeting. And the only body that can meet on this issue by law and by practice as industrial relations is the same standing negotiating committee meeting. Failure on the part of the employer, which in this case is government, they will have to report the conduct of the employer to the National Labour Commission, or either party will do so.
Right.
And the Labour Commission inviting you, you cannot refuse to go because it's like a high court inviting you. That itself is inappropriate. And if I were to be with them, would have gone. And therefore, I want to urge them on, and they do know. I have tons of respect for them. They should go back to work. The employer reserves the right to invite them, to let them know about the challenges they have and the reasoning behind their inability to implement it immediately. They would have reached agreement as to the way forward.
Right.
That is industrial relations for you.
Mr. Gama, I appreciate your time on this and then your expert analysis and recommendations on this matter. We'll see how the coming days will look like because it's taking a toll on not just the hospitals or the health facilities, but also the public as well who are attending to these health facilities for healthcare. But there's some breaking news coming through right now. Well, the breaking news coming through right now is that the former finance minister, Kenneth Ofori-Atta, has been officially listed on Interpol's red alert notice. Now, database, following a renewed request by the office of special prosecutor. Now, we're going to show that to you because we're going on the Interpol website right now, and it has indeed been confirmed that Ken Ofori-Atta has been listed on the Interpol's red notice. So that's what you have right there. And this is news, this is developing right now. And that's what you see, Ofori-Atta Kenneth Nanayao. Identity particulars, family name, Ofori-Atta, forename, Kenneth Nanayao, gender, male, date of birth, puts there 7th November 1959, 65 years, place of birth, Accra, Ghana, nationality, Ghana, distinguishing marks and characteristics not applicable. It gives some more detail. Let's flip up a bit. It said physical description, height 1.7 meters, color of hair black, color of eyes black, details, languages spoken English and Twi. Charges. The charges, it says, published as provided by requesting entity. In this instance, the requesting entity is the Office of Special Prosecutor of the Republic of Ghana. So that is the information that is just coming through. The breaking news right now is that the former finance minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, has been officially listed on Interpol's red notice database following a renewed request by the finance minister, that's by the also special prosecutor, I beg your pardon, to Interpol. Now, Interpol had to, from what we do know, the process is that they would review the request. That notice that was put out 3 days ago by the special prosecutor that he had already initiated the Interpol red notice request. Interpol will review it. When they review it and take into consideration all the factors that this is not politically motivated and so on, and then based on their review, they would then take a decision on the publication. So it was not really a straightforward automatic thing that the OSP had requested Interpol to do, so they will. But after the review by Interpol, they have just published officially Interpol red notice on Kenneth Ofori-Atta, the former finance minister of the Republic of Ghana, upon request by the Special Prosecutor's Office. So that is the breaking news coming through right now here on Ghana Tonight. I'm going to go for this quick break. When we're back, GPRTU, they are not too happy about this latest levy. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is Ghana Tonight. Coming up next, the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, they are up in arms against government over the imposition of this 1 Ghana cedi levy on every liter of fuel purchased. Members have threatened a sit-down strike beginning June 10. That's next week, Tuesday. That position they put out when they were addressing a press conference earlier today. Abbas Ibrahim Imoro, who's the National Industrial Public Relations Officer for the GPRTU, voiced out the collective outrage of over 200,000 drivers and vehicle owners nationwide. Take a look.
We are here to make sure we organize this press conference on behalf of all transport operators. Commercial transport operators, including GPRTU of TUC, are by this statement demanding immediate removal of the 1 cedi energy sector levy imposed on petroleum products. This levy, which is coming on the heels of the recent reduction in transport fares, will significantly increase operational costs, resulting in loss of income, which will affect our livelihood and the general public. We are therefore calling on government to reverse the levy immediately and engage us on major stakeholders on the way forward. In the event that our call is not heeded to, we will be compelled to take industrial action and park our vehicles on June 10th, 2025. We urge the government to consider the impact of the levy on the transport sector and the consequences of our action on the economy, and engage us on meaningful deliberations to help address challenges in the energy sector.
That's Alhaji Abbas Imoro. He is Industrial Relations Manager for the GPRTU. Joe Jackson is CEO of Daylex Finance, a financial analyst. Mr. Jackson, you heard them right there, and I bring you in because the president is talking about this being a necessary but bitter pill to swallow to save the energy sector. The drivers are saying that beyond this levy, there has to be a conversation about the other inefficiencies in the sector to address them and way forward. What should be the approach?
I believe that the approach must be two-pronged. We must clear the inefficiencies. I mean, that is frankly taking a little bit too long for us to get to grips. We've heard all the stories. We want to get to grips. What is happening with ECG? What is happening with Gridco? What is happening with VRA? What is happening? And we got to ask, and if the people responsible, we should get to the bottom of all the deals that are going on, of all the corrupt practices. We must do that. But we must also remember, investigating a corrupt practice does not immediately return the money. Investigating the corrupt practice does not pay your bill today. So both must be done. And we urge the government to show us quickly what they are doing to clear the inefficiencies and make better recoveries, bring to book those who have brought us this low, bring to book those whose greed has resulted in this levy.
Right.
We must see action.
Okay, but you see, Mr. Jackson, and quickly, and this one, do you heard the drivers? They're giving government up until Tuesday, June 10, to engage and then do something about the concerns they have raised, or else they would go on a nationwide strike, sit-down strike. They won't work.
I would say to the drivers, please, take your time. Listen, we've all been caught. Things have been changed. Some things have improved so quickly over the last few weeks that we forget how bad things were. it was almost impossible that everything was going to align and things were going to change everything for immediately. No, we've had some good things going for us. But I will urge the drivers, have patience. We were, listen, as recently as 6 months ago, in December of 2024, just 6 months ago, we were in a really bad space. Interest rates have come down. The exchange rate, the dollar exchange rate has improved. Cost of fuel has come down. And we're expecting things to, the inflation has come down, and we're expecting things to improve.
Right. Justin, appreciate your time on this. Thank you so much for joining us. Joe Justin is the CEO of Delex Finance, talking to us, a financial analyst. Thank you very much. But before we go here on Ghana Tonight, the news that we broke not too long ago. This is it, from Interpol. We put that on the screen right now. The Interpol red notice. The former finance minister, Kenneth Oforiatta, has been officially listed on Interpol's Red Notice database on its website following that renewed request by the Office of the Special Prosecutor. The move comes amid ongoing corruption investigations and intensified efforts to bring the former minister to justice. The notice made public today describes Ken Oforiatta, 65 years old, Ghanaian male, born November 7, 1959, and all the detail as you see there. So if you go on the Interpol website, you would see what we have just put out there. There's more of this on 3news.com. On behalf of the rest of the team, we do appreciate your company. I am Alfred Ocansey. But I got to send out to all of us. Tomorrow is a holiday, but we will be here to bring you everything you need to know. Have a good night.
Ghana Tonight is brought to you by Flamingo Paint. Superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage, simply superior.
Sasso insecticide spray and coil.